What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 173rd edition of the Sports Reality. My name is Jeremy John, a.k.a. the fourth greatest Grenadian of all time.
Perfect.
A.k.a. the Little Wayne of podcasts, because I will get on any podcast and hit it with the J Train.
Perfect.
Let's welcome my co-host, Cousin BigThad, a.k.a. the gatekeeper of the DMV.
Perfect.
A.k.a. the unofficial mayor of Prince George's County.
Perfect.
What's going on with you, my man?
I'm good, cousin. I'm good, man. What's going on with you?
Doing well. Now, this is a new day for us.
New day.
New live stream day. We're on Mondays now, and I just forgot to make a big announcement. We're going to make a big announcement about it later. We will be doing Mondays for the foreseeable future because both of us have to be adults.
Perfect.
So,
Big facts.
so we're here Mondays, and we're typically going to start around 4:30. Today, though, we started a little later because I had a doctor's appointment. I went to go see the allergy specialist. Yeah, man. Because
did you do all the did they go down your back with the pricks?
They didn't do my back. They just did my arm because they said, well, looks like your arms are meaty enough for it to work.
Okay.
And so they didn't have to do my back, tested me for 56 different possible allergens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much allergic to like grass, trees, pollen,
Okay.
some weeds. Yeah. So, but yeah, this was done to try and figure out this whole possible sleep apnea. I may have sleep apnea. Okay. So they want to at least
in our family, yo.
Yeah, man. They want to at least rule out, that I'm allergic to something that's making me congested. Gotcha. Because it looks like there is a nasal blockage. So, and I should have forgot to take my Flonase.
Oh yeah.
This is my time to actually take the Flonase.
Right.
So yeah, man, that's where I was today. It definitely kind of was itchy, like in the very beginning. I mean, like after, because they had to do 15 minutes after. Probably like 3 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is itching now. And they're like, yeah, that means you're allergic to them. Okay. And yeah, so it was
I might just kind of force myself into that because.
Excuse me as I take my drugs.
No, you good.
Gotta get it done now. Before.
Right. Probably should have muted your mic, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. But
excuse me as I bump my line.
Right. But I think I should do the same thing, yo, because I mean, ever since the last thing I remember was as a kid was being allergic to like peanut oil and peanuts and peanut butter and stuff like that, and then chocolate. As a kid, I used to get sick too. So all these years, I've just avoided that stuff. You know what I'm saying? All nuts, and chocolate. You know what I'm saying? So I think I might go do that just because everybody keeps saying, oh my God, you're allergic to peanut butter and chocolate? You're missing out on everything. And I'm just like, yeah, no, not really. I'm not going to be missing out on my life. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I think I might do that just to see, you know what I'm saying? See what's up.
Yeah. Your sister claims that you're not allergic to peanuts.
My sister is like 10 years younger than me, and she was never around for any of that. So she has no idea. So
she claims you're not allergic to peanuts and her logic is because you've definitely eaten the fried turkey, which is fried in peanut oil.
Ain't nobody said, look. I eat Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. And I know when I eat too much Chick-fil-A, I start to feel sick.
So it is very possible.
Because I know peanut oil, depending on how it's done, if it's done correctly, if you have that peanut allergy, it's not as harsh.
Yes, and I have heard that before.
Yeah. So I know that for a fact with that. But I also know for a fact how my face blew up like a balloon and my lips blew up and I couldn't breathe. To tell me that I'm allergic to nuts and peanuts. and that was just off of fish sticks that was cooked in peanut oil when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And my parents didn't know. They had no idea. All I know, we were in Philly and left this joint. It might have been a Denny's or something like that. Had some of the fish sticks and some other stuff, and they were cooked in peanut oil. And bruh, got in the car and we're just driving and I'm like, Mommy, something's wrong. And she's like, what are you talking about? She turned and looked at me and she's like, we need to go to the hospital right now. Said my lips blew up, and then after the lips blew up, it was just everything else just like somebody just started putting helium in me. You know what I mean? So I think I might just do it anyways. You know what I'm saying? What's the hurt? You know what I'm saying? I might learn more things that I don't want to know. But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Oh man, we got a lot to get into for this week's episode. We're gonna recap week 3 of the NFL. NBA training camp has officially opened. Today.
That's what Shorty on Twitter was talking about.
Yep. So we're gonna talk about the NBA. Also, look, the way the NBA is, it's a year-round coverage sport. Like literally, it feels like the season ended like 3 weeks ago, and but every week,
like 3 weeks ago.
Every week we tend to have something come out of the NBA to talk about.
Yeah, that's true.
And we actually have a lot to get into for today's show. We're also going to get into some college football for our sports free zone. We're going to talk about Gabby Petito. We're also going to talk about the news that just broke less than an hour ago about R. Kelly. And,
oh, Lord. Okay.
And we're going to also get into what someone said about DC, the DC food culture in DC, what a politician said about that. And for our Reddit topic of the week, it is going to be a secret because I'm trying to come up with it still.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was about to ask you. I'm like, wait, we got a Reddit topic this week? Okay.
So it is something that we will do on the fly. But yeah, just want to remind you all to subscribe to the podcast where podcasts are available. And that includes Apple, Anchor, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn. Also, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Also on Twitter. You can watch us now on Twitter live. And then on the replay, I believe Twitter allows you to watch the replay. But if you want to watch the replay, if you miss any portion of the live stream, you can definitely go back on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Just search for the Sports Reality Podcast. If you're tuned in, always feel free to chime in and be part of the episode. We love when people chime in. We love to actually have a conversation with those that are listening. So don't feel timid. Don't feel like you're annoying us by hitting us with comments during the live stream. We greatly appreciate it.
The comments be hilarious sometimes. So it's cool. We're cool with that.
Yep. Let's now get into the NFL. Recap the scores that happened this week. How many of these games, BigThad, did you watch this week?
This weekend? This past weekend? None.
What were you doing?
What was I doing? Oh, I had a wedding.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, I had a wedding on Saturday. And Sunday was relaxed day to me. I mean, I was watching some TV shows and whatnot, but yeah. Oh, I was rewatching You.
Getting ready for
the new
season 3.
Yeah. So I was like, my man even hit me up, was like, yo, something about the game or whatever. I was like, dog, I'm not even watching this. And then you hit me up and I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching any games right now. Like, yeah.
Well, let's recap the scores for week 3 so far. Okay. Last Thursday night, the Panthers defeated the Texans 24-9. The Ravens on a last second 66-yard field goal, which is the NFL record.
Of course, it was indoors.
Of course, indoors, but 66-yard Justin Tucker game-winning field goal defeated the Lions 19-17.
Should
the
have
Bills
never happened.
Should have never. We'll get into that. The Bills they did double up the Washington football team and more, 43-21. We'll talk about that game. Titans defeated the Colts 25-16. Derrick Henry has 353 rushing yards so far this season, tied for most through the first 3 weeks in team history.
Oh, in team history. Okay.
Yes.
Because I was like, that doesn't seem like a lot to me for some reason. Go ahead.
The Falcons got their first win of the year by defeating the New York Football Giants 17-14.
That's hilarious.
Shout out to our guy Roman.
That's your guy. That's your guy.
Sir Drip Lord.
Stop playing with my name.
And his Giants, they coming up short so far 3 weeks in a row. Ooh. The Chargers upset the Chiefs 30-24. The Bengals 24-10 over the Steelers, and Roman is tuned in and watching because he says, yeah.
Oh man,
Roman, you've been on the show before for our draft, but you got to come on an episode, so we got to organize that for sure.
Did we need to do that?
What do you say?
Do we need to do that then?
Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining.
Of course,
it's gonna be entertaining.
I will be choosing violence that day. Violence.
Oh man, Bengals defeated the Steelers 24-10. The Browns smacked the Bears 26-6. The Saints in Foxborough doubled up the Patriots 28-13. The Cardinals were down in this game, but in the second half just took over, won 31-19 over the Jaguars. The Broncos shut out the Jets 26-0. The Raiders in overtime, second overtime game, got a win over the Dolphins 31-28. The Rams, they smacked the Buccaneers 34-24, and the score is not indicative of how well they played in that game. Yeah. The Vikings got their first win. Kirk Cousins actually played well. Vikings got their first win. Shout out to our guy, Matthew White.
Perfect.
Saw him on Friday, and he asked me about his team, and I'm like, yeah, y'all not winning. And he's like, what you mean? I'm like, y'all not winning this week. And they did. They got a victory, so you got to give them credit for that.
Great job, Kirk. Way to go, buddy. Way to go.
Sunday night matchup of the Packers on a game-winning field goal from Mason Crosby, 51-yarder as time expired, got the win. And Monday Night Football tonight, the Dallas Cowboys will hold on. You know I gotta drop. I gotta drop.
You almost forgot about it.
They are the Dallas Cowboys.
You almost forgot about it.
Gotta drop the soundbite. The Dallas Cowboys will be facing divisional rival Philadelphia Eagles tonight on Monday Night Football. Now, Big Thad, there's a few games that happened this week that we definitely got to get into. Let's start with the first game, though, just real quick. The Panthers are 3-0. Sam Darnold, first time he's ever been in this position in his career. But Christian McCaffrey went down. But before that, what were you about to say?
No, I was going to say Sam Darnold's actually playing for an actual team now. He's not playing for the Jets. So, we got to give him we got to allow this to be like his rookie season. You know what I'm saying? Because he was playing for the Jets all these years. It's terrible.
Nah, man, they don't do that for other quarterbacks. I ain't allowing that. Nah, you played terrible. You also got mono as a grown man. What grown man gets mono?
He was still partying in college, man.
Like what grown man?
He was still partying in college, bro.
First of all,
he's a youngin'. What do you want to happen?
First of all, mono is for a specific type of people.
How, Sway?
Yeah, in college.
That's just
in college.
That's just one of the demographics.
It's usually in college. You know
that's just one of the demographics of those who who get mono.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
but yeah, yes, he's playing okay. He's not losing games, so I got to give him that. He's not losing game, but
this is rookie year, man.
Christian McCaffrey went down with an injury. Fantasy owners are fed up that he got injured.
Fed up.
Yeah, and then one of them is me.
It's an evil world we live in.
Oh, you have him? I thought Chrissy had him.
No, well, not in our league, but I have him in two other leagues. So yeah, fed up. And by the way, I'm not blaming him for the injury. It's just like, jeez, man. He went down with the hamstring injury. He could possibly play this week, but it's still up in the air. The Texans, very interesting. And actually, now that I think about the Texans, they had their rookie quarterback, David Mills, who started because Tyrod Taylor went down with a hamstring in week 2.
It's not Tyrod?
I found out it is Tyrod.
Okay. Right.
And he just got tired of telling
everybody
people.
call him Tyrod.
Yeah, no, he got tired of because people will say Tyrod and he never really corrected them. But
that's his fault. That's his fault.
That's also his fault. You're right. Yeah, and he one day someone asked him, and he's like, "Well, it's actually Tyrod." So yes, Tyrod Taylor.
Okay, Tyrod
got injured week 2 against the Browns and was playing well. Was actually playing well before the injury, and it seems like that happens all the time. But it had me thinking about the situation with the Texans, and it was some interesting comments from what's the guy's name? It's from SiriusXM NFL Radio. Oh, Pat Kerwin. He had this to say about the situation in Houston.
Interesting to me. I had a very interesting conversation with a general manager about an hour ago, and we just got talking about Deshaun Watson. And he said, I asked him, I said, what would you do in this situation? He said, I would tell him he's playing. And when he refuses to play, I'd suspend him for 4 weeks. And at the end of the 4 weeks, I'd tell him you're playing. And if he said I'm not playing, I'd suspend him again. There's no reason to spend that money. So it was interesting to hear that. We don't ever hear that version of what to do. And I said, well, do you think the league would suspend him or put him on the exempt list as soon as you said we're playing him? And he said, no, that would not happen. He said that the reality is they can't put him on the exempt list now. No new charges since the season started. So there's no criteria on playtime. So that was his take. He wouldn't cut him, and he certainly wouldn't trade him yet. But that's what he would do.
So those were comments from Pat Kerwin of SiriusXM NFL Radio, moving the chains on Friday. Okay. And it really had me thinking. We kind of thought that the NFL was kind of doing the right thing by not really saying anything. And based on what Pat Kerwin said, it seems like they can't really put him on the exempt list. So it's up to the team. And it seems like the Texans are trying to appease Deshaun Watson and allowing him not to play, being healthy scratch. And I haven't watched the Texans game, so I don't even know. And has he even been on the sideline?
I have no idea.
I know he at least is in the facility because he's been.
I know they're paying him,
and they're paying him. But what would you do if you were the GM with this situation? Would you have him sitting like he's doing right now? Would you say he's playing and do what the anonymous GM that spoke to Pat Kerwin? Would you then say, hey, I'm going to put you out there, and if you refuse, then you get suspended for 4 weeks, and then we do it again? or do you just trade him or release him? Like, what would you do if you were the GM?
I mean, if nobody's trying to give you the assets that you want for him, why would you keep paying him? You know what I'm saying? So, like, a side of me is like, yeah, make him play. If he doesn't want to play, then suspend him, and you get at least you recoup some of that money back. You know what I'm saying? Because right now you're just paying outright for somebody to just sit there and not do a thing. Like the most highest paid backup quarterback ever in the league, possibly
highest paid third string quarterback
ever. Like, you might as well just put him on a practice squad at this point. But I don't know, man. I mean, you don't want to release him, but then you want to trade him, but nobody wants to give up what you want for him. It's almost like a Ben Simmons situation.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like that type of situation. But, yeah. I mean, he's definitely deserving of what Houston wants for him. But nobody wants to get that up because they don't know what's going to happen in the future. So, play him. That's how I see it. Just play him and then suspend him. No sense in not playing him and paying him all this money just to pay him. You know, that's basically all you're doing. You're just paying him to pay him.
Yeah, look, I'm all for player empowerment. So Houston, we know that they're not really a good franchise in how they've dealt with their players, especially once they leave. The whole DeAndre Hopkins incident,
right?
J.J. Watt, Andre Johnson, always, on their way out. Dwayne Brown, who ended up getting traded and to the Seahawks. We know how they've dealt with even their star players and stuff like that. So, I'm all for player empowerment, but I also understand that this is a business. And there is Deshaun Watson is an employee and he has an employer. And this whole thing this is the thing. If you're going to flex your muscle, and I believe this in all sports, there are very few athletes that can flex their muscle, no matter how much money they make. There's still very few athletes that can flex their muscles to management. Deshaun Watson is probably one of them. Right. But even when you do that, you got to deal with the consequences.
Yep.
And the consequences, if you decide you are just not playing, then you will be punished financially.
Right.
And I think that if I was the general manager or part of the front office, I would really try to get him out as soon as possible.
I mean, they had all summer.
But if nothing is working, then yes, you're going to go out there and play.
Right.
I'm going to put you in the star lineup. You're the best quarterback. You're a top 5 quarterback in the league. Like, and if you decide you just don't want to play, then that's on you. I have my actions now I can take, and there's no hard feelings. I'm going to just tell you straight up, hey, we're just going to suspend you. Mm-hmm. And if you want to come back next week, we can end the suspension. But we're gonna suspend you, and we can do this again next week, and let's see. And we're going to, like, me personally, Deshaun Watson's done enough for that franchise. If I'm the general manager, I'm also still gonna be like, hey, when you get out of here, I'm gonna praise you. I'm gonna say thank you for what you've done for this franchise. I'm not gonna tell anyone anything ill of you. Like, at the end of the day, Deshaun wants out of Houston. Houston doesn't want to get rid of him.
Right.
Like, it's not that things got soured, it's just that Deshaun wants out,
Right.
But anyways,
they're basically giving him annual leave right now.
Yeah.
That's basically what he's getting annual leave pay right now.
Now, the Baltimore Ravens. Let's talk about their victory against
the Lions.
Yeah, and before we even get to that, we already got a question from my guy, Jakar. Why don't you think the Texans haven't done this? Man, I just think whatever package that they want, they haven't really gotten it yet. And
I think they wanted like 3 first rounds and like 3 second rounds or something like that. At one
and
point.
see, that is a little too much. I will definitely take the first round.
That's what I'm saying. Like they want too much assets
Yeah.
because of the money. It's more because of the contract and the money. They want so much more back for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and they're not going to get a star quarterback
Yeah.
to replace him. Not like the NBA type stuff. So.
And Jakar has a follow-up question. If one GM suggested this, why haven't they thought about it? I think they're just trying to be nice to him.
Yeah.
That they're like, yeah, we're not going to really take your money, so we'll just have you on the bench. Yeah, that's what I think.
Because if they're not nice to him, who are they going to get to come and play in Houston?
And that's the thing. You know, that's the balancing act that you still got. You still got to run a franchise for years to come, and you don't want to be known as the franchise that did Deshaun wrong at the end of the day.
You did your star quarterback wrong. What quarterback coming in here? You know what I'm saying?
Ravens. They were actually losing to the Lions. Shouldn't have been losing. But, well, first of all, Hollywood Brown, we got to give him another nickname, man.
I never gave him that nickname.
And when I say we, I mean that's the nickname.
I didn't even know who you were talking about when you said
Hollywood Brown. He ain't Hollywood Brown, and I know he's from Hollywood, Florida. It's not a Hollywood, California, but maybe we need to call him Hollywood, Maryland Brown. Like perfect. It ain't the same Hollywood. They ain't the same Hollywoods. And he dropped damn near 2 touchdowns yesterday. Yeah, which could have really just changed the game from the jump. The Lions take the lead in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. 4th and 13. 4th and 19, excuse me.
Yeah.
And they allow Lamar Jackson to complete a pass. Look, you got to give credit to Lamar Jackson. A lot of people questioned his accuracy, and he threw a pass in between the linebacker and the safety. Yeah. Or the corner, because it was on the sideline, but linebacker in the corner. Perfect pass right over his head, but right in between to Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins, I don't know what he was thinking, should have ran out of bounds, but stays in bound. They spike the ball. We get to the play that should have been penalized. Delay of game, no call. Why do you think the referees missed it?
I don't know. I've heard so many different things. I've heard so many different things so far. They said that there was a delayed game on the kick. Then I've seen some other stuff say it's a delay of game on that 4th and 19.
No, they were saying it was delay of game on the play after the Watkins completion, which then would have knocked them back 5 yards, which then would have made the kick a 71 yarder.
No, I'm saying they showed another thing saying that 4th and 19 play.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that.
The play clock went down on that one too.
See, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that part.
I didn't even know there was another play after the 4th and 19.
There was another play
after that. Okay, I thought they kicked the field goal after that.
There was another play where they just ran a play. And it ended up being like an incomplete pass. They wanted to get closer.
Right. Of course,
it was an incomplete pass. Who
wants to kick a 66-yarder?
Yeah, man. But Justin Tucker knocks it down to break the NFL record
off the goalpost.
In. Yeah, man. I have not seen the all 22 on that play. Every clip I've seen is just the television version of the play. So I don't want to speculate and say what kind of defense they were in. I would like to see it before I comment. But before I comment, you can't let someone you got them in 4th and 19. You can't let them complete that with no timeouts and get into Justin Tucker range. I'm not gonna say field goal range, but Justin Tucker range. Right. You can't let that happen. Like, come on. So that's where I still am like, yeah, that defense.
Probably was on prevent defense, like everybody for some odd reason likes to do in those times.
And I guess they're like, well, they ain't got no more timeouts. So.
Right, they're not gonna make it. They're gonna make it all the way down here. They're not gonna do it.
Oh my goodness. Other news in the NFL. We already spoke about the Giants. The Chiefs. They're 1-2. Haven't been 1-2 in forever. Patrick Mahomes didn't play well. Had multiple turnovers. I think Patrick Mahomes, especially one of them, was a no-look pass. They ended up being an interception. I personally think he's just like
doing too much.
Yeah, overconfident, hubris. He's done it for so long. Right. And the pass, because it was no look, it definitely confused his intended receiver. And then it was behind him. He was wide open.
Oh.
Dude was wide open, number 85. I don't know his name, but he was wide open. You just missed him.
See, if you don't know his name, then of course he don't know about the no-look passes. You know what I'm saying? He's probably a rookie.
So that happened, but he had multiple turnovers. The Chargers, though,
yeah,
they're basically one field goal kick away from being 3-0. You know, the Greg Zuerlein kick from last week in week 2 being 3-0. Justin Herbert, another solid game. Sorry, let me not say solid. I would say great. 26 for 38, 281 yards, and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions of that.
Yeah, he's not on the sophomore slump. That's for sure.
That ain't you are definitely right about that. Is things over for Big Ben? Is the road over? Is the road complete?
Ben should have been done 2 years ago, at least. But he still wants to try to be. I mean, it's kind of their only option in Pittsburgh right now is him. So.
Right. What do you mean is their only option? They got Dwayne Haskins Jr.
Man, come on, bro. Stop it.
Dwayne Haskins Jr.
Stop it.
You might as well start the rebuild right now.
Stop it. Not with Dwayne.
See what he can do with a new head coach, new offense. We know Mason Rudolph can't do it.
I mean, he did all right.
No, Mason Rudolph is trash. Like, he's not good. Look, I thought he was going to be good.
No, I didn't think he was going to be good.
Look, let me tell you what I thought about Mason.
Why did you think he was going to be good?
Man, he was good in college, man. At Oklahoma State, man, he was good. This is what I'm a rehash what I thought should have happened for the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
The Browns, I was saying this, they should have drafted Saquon Barkley number 1, and then in the second round get Mason Rudolph. And remember, they had that they had the 4th overall pick, and they should have used the 4th overall pick to get Bradley Chubb. That's what I was saying. Number 1 overall pick, get Saquon Barkley. 4th overall pick, get Bradley Chubb. 2nd round pick, get your quarterback in Mason Rudolph.
So two running backs for one.
No, Bradley Chubb.
Oh, Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, not a Nick Chubb.
Okay.
And Nick Chubb was still later.
Right.
You could have had Nick.
Right.
You still could have had Nick Chubb. like if you and the thing is, ultimately they have a 2 running back now. They made the trade for Kareem Hunt.
Right.
But you could have had your 2 in Saquon and Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
That's how good, that's how much I was behind Mason Rudolph. I've been proven wrong. He's been terrible in the NFL. He's most known for getting his head bashed by Myles Garrett and being a MAGA supporter. So you know, that's his boy. That's his boy Donald Trump. You know?
Don't be rude.
You know. So yeah, man. Things may be done for. It's week 3, but. I think Ben is just middle of the road now. He's not trash. I just think he's middle of the road now. Yeah.
Still better than Dwayne Haskins.
We'll see.
Still better.
The Browns smacked the Bears, killed them, demolished them. Justin Fields got his first start in the NFL. Didn't look well. He was sacked 8 times.
Come on. With that line in Chicago, of course, what did you think was going to happen?
Look,
what did you think was good? Really, think about it. I told you that your man, Andy Dalton, wasn't even going to make it to halfway through the season.
You did say that.
Just off, and that's just off of the offensive line. Not even
You
his
did
play.
say that.
Not even his play, just the offensive line. And then Fields comes in for his first start and is sacked 8 times. That's all the offensive line. That's not him. That's offensive line right now. That's it. That's it.
You know what shocked me with everything in the, I guess, the coverage of Justin Fields and this game? I'm shocked that like literally everyone in the media is like, yeah, that's Matt Nagy's fault. Like usually we don't see for quarterbacks like us that, you know, that they're like, man, that was the coach's fault.
Right.
Everyone was just like, yo, he should have just. So I was watching, what's the show on NFL Network in the morning? Is it not Get Up? Because that's ESPN. Is it Good Morning Football? Which is probably one of the better shows out there when it comes to any sport. I think they're all pretty good.
Not your man, Stephen A. Smith?
Stephen A. is not my man. I respect Stephen A.'s hard work, but I don't really care for him. I just respect what he put in to get into the game. Anyways, Good Morning Football is really good with Kay Adams, Peter Schrager, and I forgot the other dude, the other white dude's name. Nate Burleson was on the show until he got the job at CBS for their morning show. So now they've just been having different athletes come in. Today was actually Golden Tate was on there. But
Golden Tate?
Yeah, he was on there.
Oh, wow.
But they were discussing about, you know, the Fields' performance, and they all said we can't even give him a grade because we can't even see like the offensive line was terrible. And then they also mentioned how Greg Olson during the telecast was just like, why is Matt Nagy not, you know, opening the playbook up for him? It's like he said the plays are very vanilla. Myles Garrett said after the game, yeah, we thought there were going to be more moving pockets, but they just let him sit back there. So I had all these sacks today. Like he said, they were easy sacks because they were just there.
Wow.
So yeah, man, he didn't get the help in his first NFL start. The other rookie quarterbacks in the first round, they're all not really doing good either. Zach Wilson shutout, had multiple turnovers.
You know why?
Well, it's partly him too. I didn't think he was going to be that good, but he's with the Jets. He's with the Jets. Mac what's his name? Mac Jones in New England. He didn't have a good game either. Had a couple turnovers. Did you see the post-game handshake between him and Jameis Winston?
No.
So Jameis Winston, you know, after the game was going to shake hands, he actually had to go all the way to the Patriots bench to shake his hand because Mac was just sitting there stewing about the loss. And, you know, and then when he got up, he was about to go shake hands with everyone else. And Bill Belichick pulled him, was like, nah, let's go to the locker room. Like,
oh, wow.
It was just like,
Bill wouldn't even let him do a handshake?
yeah, like with anyone else. Like, so yeah, it's just, you know, usually, you know, the tradition, coaches for sure, quarterbacks for sure. And, you know,
right.
Yeah, man, Jameis had to go all the way to the other side of the field onto the bench. I just know if it was the other way around, that would have been a big story in the news. You know, that Jameis Winston would have been immature for his actions. But Mac is going through rookie growing pains. He also, I mean, I didn't think he was the best quarterback even in the first round. So this is shocking me that he's playing this way. You know, it seems like he still needs help in the playbook that he quote unquote was helping Cam Newton with, but you know, what can I say? Other NFL news before we move on, the Sunday night game. I'm not even wasting my time with the Rams game because everyone's just going to hype up Matthew Stafford. Stafford's always been this type of quarterback. He has a better team, yes. Show me what you can do in the postseason, then I will actually give you some real love. Yes, I may be a little salty because usually in fantasy, he doesn't do anything for me. Perfect. So maybe that's why I feel this type of way about Matthew Stafford. That I'm not really impressed about how he's playing. He is definitely playing with a better team and a better offensive system.
He did good for me when I had him, so it's cool.
So maybe I will gladly admit that maybe there is a bias for why I feel the way that I feel about Matthew Stafford. But yeah, man. Let's get to your Washington football team, Big Thad.
I didn't watch him.
You ain't watch the game?
I didn't watch him at all.
They ain't watch the game.
Nope. They lost. It is
Bills got up 14-0.
Yeah, our defense is terrible.
And
been telling you that.
They were about to go up 21-0, but they got a turnover.
Ooh.
They got a turnover, and I text my boy. I text my boy Bernard of Shut Your Face, and I said, "Look, that turnover may be big." Matthew always saying I'm hating. You know, according to Matthew,
with Mac Jones or Drew. What's his name? Matt
Stafford.
It's got to be Stafford. It's got to be Stafford. What up, Matt? What up?
So, I text my boy Bernard, and I'm like, "Yo, that turnover was big. If you all score, that could really be a game changer. Because instead of going down 21-0, you might go up. I mean, you may cut the deficit to 14-7. Logan Thomas fumbles, has a fumble. The Bills get the ball. They score a touchdown. They go up 21-0 eventually. Then you have Antonio Gibson got a screen pass. I think 73-yard screen pass, took it to the house.
Yeah.
On the ensuing kickoff, the ball bounces. The returner doesn't get it. Washington recovers it. Taylor Heineke scores. So now it's 21-14. Then it was over after that. Bills then just put it into a whole nother gear. Josh Allen, I believe the first Bills quarterback to have 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 0 sacks, I believe, or to be sacked 0 times.
Yeah.
Here's another interesting fact about this game. Both defensive lines, their 4 starters, all were drafted in the first round.
Whoa.
But one defensive line really didn't show up, and it was the Washington football team. I don't know if you heard anything, so I'm gonna ask this question because I haven't heard it yet. What did Chase Young say after the game?
I have no idea.
Okay, because today was one of the few days I actually listened to local radio because I was in a car that did not have Sirius XM, so I actually had to listen to local sports. Right. And people were complaining about Chase Young, and they were like, "What he said was ridiculous." Da 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 da. And I'm just like,
I don't know what he
said. It was something he said after the game.
I mean, if he said something, then he said something. It is what it is. I don't think it's ridiculous because the defense is terrible, and we know where that starts at, and that's secondary down. Our secondary's trash. Our linebackers are trash. Your defensive line can only do so much. And then you have Jack Del Rio as defensive coordinator, who I don't know why everybody thinks he's good. I don't think he's ever been good defensive-wise. So there you have it on that. But you know what? Maybe he'll do like last season and finally make changes halfway through the season. And it's funny because a lot of Washington football team fans still hasn't noticed this. You know what I'm saying? When the defensive line went crazy last season with sacks and all that, it's because Jack Del Rio finally made an adjustment halfway through the season. So, y'all tell me. I mean, you have 4 guys on the defensive line against 5 linemen. Mm-hmm. You already have a mismatch. Mm-hmm. So if you're only dropping 4, what do you think is going to happen? You know what I'm saying? So it's Jack Del Rio. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's why I always said if we had Williams still with this defensive line and the players that we have in our secondary, we'll still be playing so much more better just with him as a coach. That's all. But
this is one thing that I have known for a long time. And yes, I'm not a fan of the team, but this is something I have known. Your linebackers really aren't good. Your secondary isn't good. Mm-hmm. And last season, success was due to, yes, the defensive line playing well, and several quarterbacks were injured in the division. Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, and Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, which allowed you to get a 7-9 record to win the division, a division which was still in the air, up in the air, week 17.
Right, exactly.
Where, think about this. Whoever won the Cowboys and Giants game could have still made the playoffs if Washington lost.
Right.
So, yeah. And I think a lot of Washington football fans felt like, well, Washington football fans said, well, we did this. We made the playoffs. We're just going to build onto it again. And I'm like, look.
Y'all act like we were that good last season.
The back seven isn't good on defense.
We weren't that good last season. This is the thing I don't understand. Like, they honestly think we were a good team last season. First of all, everybody in our division was under 500. Mm-hmm. So that you can already say that already. That's not good. If your whole division is under 500, you can't tell me your team's good by any means. Mm-hmm. I don't care if your quarterback's healthy or not. If your team is under 500, they're not good.
Yeah. And then just thinking about the quarterback situation. You know how I feel about Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't think he's that good as a starter.
We don't have a quarterback situation, sir.
And then now you got Taylor Heineke, who in relief can play well.
Just like Fitzpatrick. We know about Fitzpatrick. 6 games, that's it. 6 games as a regular starter, that's it. You could bring him back in after that in a whatever capacity, but we know just from his history, 6 games is what you're going to get out of him. Could be good, 6 full-time games. Mm-hmm. Could be good, could be bad, could be in between. But you can't have him as a full-time starter. We know that. I don't know if they don't know that, but you know what I'm saying? But
so we have that. And then just you have a first place schedule. So you're gonna play first place teams.
Yep.
And then you're playing the NFC East, AFC East, which got you the Bills yesterday. So yeah. I mean,
I don't know why some people thought that we were going to beat the Bills. I never thought we were going to beat the Bills. I thought, let's see. In my head, when I saw the schedule, I said the first 8 games we were going to be 1-7.
Whoa.
1-7. 1-7 or 2-6.
And then turn it on.
With the Jack Rio.
And then turn it on.
The Jack Rio
to get second place, like you predicted.
Right,
I believe you predicted they would get second place.
Yes, I did.
So, oh man,
we're definitely going to be above the Giants. That's for sure.
Perfect.
Oh man, let's get to my Dallas Cowboys real quick.
They are the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
By the way, you got to remind me so I could work on a soundbite for your Washington football team. That's what you got to do. You got to remind me so I could get one ready for you. But they play Monday night against the Eagles.
Yeah.
So I personally think they'll win, but it's going to be a divisional game. I believe the spread is 4. I think the Cowboys will cover, but it's still going to be close. So, yeah, we will see. Talking about covering, we didn't do picks last week. I realized that yesterday.
Or this week.
So we had 1 week, week 3. We just did. We actually predicted one game, and I forgot to. We predicted the Panthers and Texans. So that we did that one. So we just didn't really do last week, but we have picks for this week.
Okay.
So let's start with the Jaguars at Bengals. Bengals are favored. This is Thursday night. Favored by 2.5. Thad, who you going with?
Bengals.
I am also going with the Bengals. Jacksonville's going 0-4. And my guy, Urban Meyer, I love to see him at his demise.
Perfect.
We're playing Alabama every week.
It's rare that I root for people to fail, but that one for sure, I do root for him to fail. Washington at the Falcons. Falcons, after one win and being the home team, are favored by 2.5. I am going with Washington. Washington better not fail me. But if they do, I'm going to clown them at the same time. Who you going with?
Ooh, this is tough. This is tough, man. I'm going to go with Falcons on this one. I'm going to actually go with Falcons on this one.
Oh, man. Texans at Bills, 1 o'clock kickoff. Bills are favored by 14. Thad, who you going with?
Bills.
This spread is...
I know the spread is so huge, but I'm gonna go with Bills on this one. Because if it's Davis Mills, who's starting? We don't know yet.
Well, I don't know about Tyrod. I don't know if he's healthy enough to then play this
Mills.
week.
Yeah, be Mills. I'm gonna say Bills.
That spread is huge, man. like what? I mean, this.
Yeah.
For the sake of the podcast and not trying to kill time, man, I'm going to go with the Texans, man. That spread is just, I know they're bad, but geez. Lions at Bears. Bears favored by 5.5. I'm going to go with the Lions. I think the Bears will ultimately win, but they will not cover. Who you going with then?
Lions.
You're going with the
Lions. Yeah.
All right. Panthers at Cowboys, 1 o'clock kickoff. Cowboys favored by 5. I am going to go with the Cowboys. What about you?
Yeah, I'll go with Cowboys on this one.
All right. Colts at Dolphins, 1 o'clock kickoff. I am going to go with the Dolphins favored by 1.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins. What about you, Thad?
Dolphins.
All right. You have Dolphins also. Browns at Vikings. Browns at Vikings. Browns are favored by 1 point. Who are you going with, Ed?
Browns.
Sorry,
Matt. I gotta do it. Browns.
Yeah, I'm going with the Browns. Also on this one, Giants at Saints. Saints favored by 5. I'm going with the Saints. What about you?
Saints. Why they even put that in there?
Titans at Jets. 1 o'clock kickoff. Titans favored by 3.5. Who you going with then?
Titans 3.5. Yeah, Titans.
Titans 3.5. Okay, so you say you're going with the Titans?
Yeah, Titans.
I am also going with the Titans. 1 o'clock kickoff. Also, Chiefs at Eagles. Chiefs favored by 8.5. I'm going with the Eagles.
Ooh.
I'm going with the Eagles.
Chiefs, Eagles, 8.5. Where's the game?
At Eagles.
Ooh, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles.
Chiefs don't cover, man, and they got to show that first before I start going on them when it comes to the spread. 4:00 kickoff. Cardinals at Rams. Rams are favored by 4.5. Who are you going with then?
Cardinals.
I am going with the Cardinals also. I think the Cardinals actually win this game. But yeah, they're going to cover regardless. Seahawks at 49ers. 49ers favored by 3.5. I'm going with the Seahawks. I don't trust 49ers. They actually got kind of lucky that they took the lead against the Packers last night. But yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks. What about you?
Seahawks.
All right. 4:00 kickoff. Ravens at Broncos. Ravens favored by 3. Who you go with?
This is at Mile High, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Denver's 3-0 right now.
Yeah, they're undefeated. We didn't really talk about them, but they're undefeated. Just like the Panthers, just like
3-0 right
the
now.
Rams. Who else is undefeated? I can't remember who else is undefeated, but yeah.
They just had the Ravens.
The Raiders are undefeated also.
The Raiders. The Raiders are doing good, man. They're doing good. You know what? I'm gonna go with Denver on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Denver on this one.
I am going to go with the Ravens. I think they'll be more attentive, more alert, and they'll win this game. They won't overlook the Lions in this game. 4:00 kickoff also. Steelers at Packers. Packers favored by 6.
Packers.
Man.
Packers. I'm going Packers.
I'm going to go with the Packers. Also, Sunday Night Football. Buccaneers at Patriots. Buccaneers favored by 3. Who you go with, Ed?
Buccaneers.
Yeah, look, I'm just going with the Buccaneers. Yo, Tom Brady's about to go off.
You already know Buccaneers got to lose a game or two. You always got to at least a game or two. Right now,
They got it out the way.
They got it out the way. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I mean, you think about it, they could lose another game and still be first in the AFC just because of the way the Chiefs are playing. So, and I mean, it's not like the Chiefs are playing bad. It's just like the teams they're playing are pretty good. So, yeah.
So we're both going with the Buccaneers. In the Monday night game, Raiders at Chargers. Chargers favored by 4. I am going to go with the Chargers. What about you?
Give me that spread again.
Chargers by 4.
Against
the Raiders at Chargers.
Raiders at Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chargers.
All right, that will be our picks for week 4. Before we get out of the NFL segment, though, I do have the comments. What Chase Young, and before I even get to that, Matthew, I didn't see this because I was doing my picks, but he says Philly wins for sure. Of course, you're a hater. You are a hater. The Dallas Cowboys aren't losing this game on Monday night. Let's Chase Young's comments. Let's get to that real quick. He said this after the game, and this is from John Keim. He said Chase Young said of his interaction with Jack Del Rio when they come back to the building, quote, "No bullshitting. If someone is bullshitting, let me know because I ain't having it," end quote. So that was the comment. And I'm going to
everybody up in arms about because
they're up in arms because they feel like
he said bullshitting.
No,
is that what it is?
They feel like Chase Young is bullshitting himself. So they're like, you of all people shouldn't be talking about everyone else. You know? So yeah, man, That's the comment. So that's why people were upset.
Del Rio is the cause of the defense being so terrible. Besides the players,
I mean,
like, I want to say it's like 55-45 Del Rio, or 60-40. Yeah, 60-40 Del Rio. But yeah, I did see something though. That Josh Gordon got reinstated.
He did. He got reinstated. He should be on the active roster as soon as, I think, next week.
Yeah, and he's going to be in KC on their practice squad.
Hold on. I thought he was...
I thought so too, but I guess he could go to another team.
Yeah, I thought he was with the Seahawks still. I thought they still had his rights, to be honest.
No.
That I did not know, but hey. Another way.
Another Josh Gordon sighting.
Yeah,
how many years is this? He's been technically been in the league.
He came in the league 2013,
and he's literally played what?
He
2
played.
seasons?
He had bombed 13, 14, and like 15 were like phenomenal,
and then it was suspension.
And it's been like suspensions pretty much 6.
So he's literally played 3 out of what, 8 years.
I'm going to bring up his NFL reference.
Yeah, bring
just
up
to see how many games he has played.
I know he's just suspended at least 5 seasons, like 4 to 5 seasons. I think it was like 2 full seasons.
He's played 63 games.
63 games?
2012. Sorry, he came out 2012, so it was the same year with RG3 because they were teammates at Baylor. He played 16 games, started 13 of them.
Okay. So
had 50 receptions, 800 yards, 5 touchdowns. Solid for a rookie. But it was the second year where he had 87 receptions, 1646, 9 touchdowns.
How many games he played that season?
That was 14.
He only played 14?
Mm-hmm. Then 2014, he played 5. That's when the suspension started coming.
35.
He missed 15, 16.
Jeez.
In Cleveland, 2017, played 5 games, suspended again. 2018, played 12 games, and then was about to get a suspension.
Right.
So he kind of bowed out.
Yeah.
Then 2019, he was with the Seahawks. He was with New England.
Right. Played like
for 6 games.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Then they traded him.
Okay.
And he got Seattle for 5 games. And then he got a suspension again. And like 2 of those, they were like threatening lifetime. Lifetime bans. And
they keep letting them back, man.
Look, they had to eventually let him back, especially once they relaxed their policy on marijuana. So
right.
It was kind of like, nah, you kind of need to let him back in.
Yo, if he comes back and kills the league, yo, just straight kills the league, it would be hilarious. Because he's always been decent. Like,
always.
Good.
Being good has never been the issue.
Yeah. It's just like, the league, he's suspended again.
You know? And I hope the best for him, man. I hope he really got this under control because, some people are addicted to marijuana. I know they try to say marijuana is not a addicting drug. Some people are. Some people are addicts to it. And he was one of them. Or is. I don't know where he stands, but
he just likes to smoke weed, man.
And yeah, man, but it is interfered with his entire career. This dude, his first 2 years are pretty much on track for like, after that second year, if he just continues at a pace, I mean, we're talking about Hall of Fame. Yeah. Like if he averages 1,400 yards a year, 13, you're still and getting touchdowns. Come on, that's damn near Hall of Fame right there, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get out of this segment and actually what we're going to do, we're going to break things up a little bit. We're actually going to have our quick hitters right now and talk about what happened in some other sports. Did you see the rivalry this weekend between the Yankees and the And the Red Sox.
Nah. Nah. But I mean, as always around this time, it's always crazy when it comes to them too, because they always end up so close to each other in contention right around this time.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, playoffs start in a couple weeks, so yeah. I mean, it's usual Yankees, Red Sox shenanigans.
Yeah, man. Giancarlo Stanton had a monster home run the other night, and then last night had one, I believe, in the 9th or extra innings to pretty much push the Yankees over the top. I'm gonna look at the standings real quick to see where they are. But this is the exciting part of Major League Baseball. September, almost October. Well, yeah, we're almost, man. October's 3 days away. October is 3 days away. But the Tampa Bay Rays, they have an 8-game lead over the Yankees in that division. And if my math is correct, I have 6, carry the 1. Oh, season should be wrapping up like soon.
Yeah, it's October.
Like I know it's soon, but I have 6. Carry the 1. So that 156. So only 6 more games in the season. Yeah, man. So they have that lead. Let me look at the rest of the standings, though. In the AL Central is pretty much locked up. AL West, pretty much locked up. Let me look at the wild card, though, because that is the interesting part. And that's just the AL. In the wild card, looks like, man, Yankees. So Boston has a 1-game lead for the second wild card spot over the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
But if things stay where they are, we're going to have a 1-game wild card between the Yankees and the Red Sox. Yep. I'm rooting for that. I am rooting for that. My goodness.
You see who's in the bottom there, right?
I mean, the Orioles,
Yeah.
I mean, why? What you wanted to? What are you? Are you a glutton for punishment? You wanted us to know. Like,
I just had to let y'all know.
Like, I wasn't gonna bring that up.
The O's, bottom of the league.
I wasn't gonna bring that up, but man,
they are tied for the worst record in the league.
Well, who? Oh, Arizona. They're just as bad.
Tied.
50 wins also. 50 wins also. And
the funny thing is, I think the Diamondbacks win the tiebreaker for the last place too.
In the NL, wow.
I think it's home. The home record is a lot higher.
Oh wow! In the NL, let's move to the NL. The Braves have a 2.5-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. So there's still a possibility, Philly could, catch them if things go haywire the last week of the season. The NL Central is locked up with the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Giants and the Dodgers, they at least locked up a playoff berth, but the division is still up for grabs because there's only a 2-game difference with the Giants leading the Dodgers. And in that one, it is possible when it comes to the wild card. I'm going to bring up the wild card.
Look how ahead they are.
Yeah, as of now, the Dodgers are in the wild card, and then the Steelers. But the next place team is 5.5. I said
the Cardinals.
The Cardinals. I saw STL. St. Louis Cardinals, and the Reds are 5.5 games behind the Cardinals, but like I said, there's only like 6 games left. So yeah. So that is Major League Baseball. The Ryder Cup. Was this week or this past week?
This is a request.
And actually, before we get to that, how's the Nats looking? Terrible, bottom of the division.
Come on, bro.
In the NL East, they're still my team. I'm still happy about 2019, but they got to get better. Shout out to my man Greg. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in to the live stream of the Ryder Cup. We got a request from your father to talk more golf.
Yeah, Pops.
So at least
Pops asked, why don't y'all talk about golf? Man.
just don't get to it sometimes. Sometimes we're on here for 2 hours, two hours, and we still can't get to it.
I mean, you make it to the range every once in a while.
Yeah, man.
I go I don't go to the range. I go to Top Golf when we decide to go as a family and drink a little bit. And then Pops, I'm still waiting for the clubs, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm still waiting for the clubs. You know what I'm saying? So
US
I think
wins.
that's why golf hasn't come up that much, maybe. But,
U.S. wins, and they won in convincing fashion, correct?
Ooh, by far.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest they've had Europe has won 9 out of the last 12.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the highest win total since Europe joined for this Ryder Cup. So, but it was, I think the next lowest was like a half a point behind.
Okay.
But they were going for 20. You know what I'm saying? They were going for 20. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to win by, I think you got to win by 14 and a half or something like that.
Okay.
And they wanted to go for 20. These young dudes on this U.S. team is like, yo, let's do it. We starting it now. Let's go.
Yep. Oh, man. So Team USA got a win in the Ryder Cup. Let's now get to our Champ and Chump of the week. We celebrate those who do well.
Wow, winning.
And criticize those who don't.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt!
It's our Champ.
Let's go, champ.
And Chump.
Now this guy's a chump.
Of the week. It's our Champ and Chump of the week, where we celebrate those that do well, criticize those that do not. Big Thad, who's your Champ of the week?
The U.S. Ryder Cup team, yo. Yeah, killed it. Killed Europe. Brought it back to the U.S. You know what I'm saying? And it's wild how kind of like some of the storylines in there now. Some of the youngest players in this whole tournament were on the U.S. side and beating like the number one golfer in the world that plays for Europe. And then Dustin, I can't even think of his last name right
Dustin
now.
Johnson?
Yes, Dustin Johnson.
I know there's Dustin Johnson.
He won all his 5. You know, he was 5-0. You know what I'm saying? It's like unheard of on the U.S. side for sure. You know what I'm saying? So they killed it, man. They trying to start something new. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to do their thing. So I can't be mad at them. They got to be the champs this week.
My Champ of the week goes to Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens. 66-yard kick. I don't care that it was indoors, but to win the game, 66-yard kick. Yeah, man, you got to be my Champ of the week. Big Thad.
Yeah.
Who is your Chump of the week?
Oh, shoot. You want to just put it up on there? Because I can't even think it was that. It was a Kayvon Pope.
Because you're a chump!
Well, you know, the first time I saw it, I already knew. Like, I didn't even need to know who the player was because I saw Kayvon as the first name. But he's my Chump of the week because before even halftime, he basically quit the Ohio State University football team after he tried to substitute into the game, and his teammate waved him off, and he basically got really pissed off, said some words to one of the coaches, probably the linebacker coach, and basically was walking off the field. He got to the tunnel, and one of the other coaches grabbed him like, hey, no, you can't do this right now. He had some more words on the sideline, and then he was escorted off of the sideline into the tunnel. And he is now no longer on the football team, keeps his scholarship for now. He is a senior. But, yeah, I think he's had like 30-something tackles in the past, like, 3 years. including these past 4 games. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, nah, you can't. It's Ohio State University, man. You can't just quit at halftime. This ain't, was it DeAndre Davis?
Devontae Davis.
Devontae Davis.
Devontae was like, "Nah, I'm done, man. I can't keep up with these boys."
This is college. This ain't the NFL. Just think you could just quit like that on your teammates. You crazy.
This is the second. Last week, another Ohio State player quit. Also, he transferred.
Linebacker? Yeah, he went in the transfer protocol.
Yes. So yeah, man.
Yeah. But it's funny, like you talk to the linebacker coach, he's like, "Yeah, you know, we always have top linebackers coming in here. You know, and, it's a privilege to play here. You know, and yeah, it is what it is."
Yep. My chump of the week goes to Patrick Mahomes.
Cause you're a chump.
Yeah, man, you're not playing well. Last 2 games have not played well. You put your team in a situation to lose against the Ravens. Yes, we remember the Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble, but the drive previous, you had Mahomes throw an ill-advised interception that allowed the Ravens to take the lead in that game, or allowed them to score later and put them in a better position to come back into that game because of your turnover. Then you had 2 turnovers again, one of them being a no-look pass that was behind the intended receiver. If you had simply just thrown the ball correctly, then you would have had, you know, a touchdown for that. So yeah. Right. So yeah. Patrick Mahomes is my chump of the week.
Cause you're a chump.
Let's now.
Tell Auntie Sally I said hello, by the way. I hear her.
Yes, I know everyone does. Everyone does. Let's get to the sports free zone. We haven't had a chance to talk about this because we weren't here. Okay. But we had the nationwide story about the young lady Gabby Petito who went missing. Her fiance came home in her vehicle without her, and the family, or his family, didn't really say nothing right away. Her family hadn't heard from her in a while. They realized that she didn't come back home to Florida, so they filed a missing persons report. Now, the young lady, Gabby Petito, was a social media influencer, a travel blogger, and she was out on, you know, in the desert over in Utah and Arizona, and they went several other places. Well, when she went missing, the authorities in Utah released their body cam footage. There was an incident at a grocery store where a couple was fighting. The police were called. They tracked the vehicle down, and it was Gabby Petito and her fiance. Is it Brian Laundrie? I think that's his name. Yeah. But Laundrie is his last name.
Launder.
So you know they released the body cam, and the situation occurred where they were in a physical altercation. They got into the car. The police showed up. According to the body cam, when you look at it, or the body cam footage, she said she was the aggressor. So then they separated the couple. They put him in a hotel. They left her in the car. The couple claimed that they got into this. They've been getting in arguments, and they got into this altercation because they were just kind of fed up living together in a van for so long. So that happened. They allowed them to, I think it was 2 days they couldn't see each other. Then they were supposed to be able to complete their trip back to Florida. That didn't happen. Laundrie then goes missing. Police don't, they have him as a person of interest, and then they don't really keep an eye on him.
Well, no. They didn't have him as a person of interest yet when he went off.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
They went to go talk to him.
They went to talk to him. Yeah, he comes home without his fiance in her car, and they just went to talk to him. It wasn't a person of interest. They didn't have anyone or any agency really keeping an eye on him. He leaves.
You can't jump the gun. You can't jump the gun. You know?
He leaves. His family, they say, oh, yeah, he left to go. He's not here right now.
Right.
They're like, all right, well, we got to come back again. A couple days later, the family, well, he's actually been gone for a few days. And he went to the natural reserve in Florida, one of them. And we don't know when he's coming back or if he's coming back. No one's heard from him yet. Then social media people and the FBI and really social media, they were like, nah, she is in this park. The FBI went into that park and they found her remains. And the reason they were able to find that out was another like blogger had a YouTube video where they were driving through the same park where she was last seen.
Right.
And they saw the van parked on the side of the road in the park. So they're like, well, at least we know the van was there.
Right.
And they searched the park, and unfortunately her remains were found. Now, the story got a lot of coverage. And it was
really though?
It did. It got nationwide coverage.
Because I know it was like TikTok and Facebook way before it got on the news.
Yes.
So I mean, it got social media coverage.
It got nationwide coverage because it was leading for 2 days, because it was the 2 days before social media did what they do. And it was leading on CNN, leading on Fox, leading on your local news. And I saw it. I'm not just saying that just because I actually saw it. Every new show on CNN and the other new MSNBC, that was the lead. And then 2 days later, they think they found the remains. They confirmed it was her. So then that also introduced another phenomenon. And, people, there's a syndrome. It's called missing white woman syndrome. Jesus. Where one is, where there's one who goes missing and it becomes nationwide coverage. And then, you have millions of others where it's like no coverage. Now, I do understand there are white women that are missing that we don't know of also, but it's partly because she's considered an attractive woman. So, pulls on the heartstrings of most people. At the very same time, there was Jelani Day. His mother said, hey, I want to use this time to allow, to put a light on our case. My son, Jelani Day, has been missing for a while. Similar situation out in a national park. Huh?
Was it the Illinois one?
Yes. And he's been missing. And she said law enforcement hasn't really been doing anything. She has been getting a private investigator, has been organizing search parties, blah, blah, blah. Social media finds out about it.
Yeah.
And like 2 days later, they find his remains also. And then other missing people have been found quite recently. So, there's this frustration that, you got to have a white woman go missing before you actually get some other people or coverage on other people. So that is what happened over the last couple weeks since the last time we were able to record. But there's some other news that we get into. R. Kelly was found guilty today. Did you see that, Thad?
No, because I don't care about R. Kelly, but there's no way he was getting off this time, yo. There's no way. Just from some of the stories of the court proceedings that was going on, it was like there's no way he's gonna be found not guilty. So good for him. Good for him.
I mean, yeah, good for him too. He need to be in jail. He need to be under the jail. Like that's
right.
That's what it needs to be. Yeah, man.
They should just either firing squad or whatever else that they do death penalty wise. Just get it done, y'all. Just get it done.
Something on a little.
We thought it was only girls and whatnot, and come to find out it was any and everybody. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous, yo.
Let's end this segment on a lighter note. Representative Omari Hardy. I believe he's a representative that represents the district that includes West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, where the parents are.
Yep. It doesn't really say his political affiliation, but I just assume that he is Democratic based on what I see.
Shouldn't assume, sir. Shouldn't assume.
So he tweeted this yesterday. Can we talk about DC food being terrible? ? Because it's not great at all. It's not great, y'all. Thad, what do you have to say about that tweet?
It depends on what he was eating. There's some trash food in DC, we can't just go past that. There's some trash food in DC. So it really all depends on where he was eating at and what he ate.
Oh, man.
What do you think we're mambo sauce and wings, bruh.
Man.
That's what we are.
I just saw.
What do you eat?
So first of all, someone said last time I checked, DC has more Michelin star restaurants than the entire state of Florida.
Oh yeah, we definitely do. But they came into DC. You know what I'm saying?
People have been going
because
on.
I have a fellow graduate in my own class that has 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 of them in DC that are Michelin star restaurants.
Hey, that is that's a big deal.
Yeah,
kind of a big deal. That now, man, I wish I had. Let me.
But I wish he had said where he was at. You know what I'm saying? This is DC. You know what I'm saying? So where's the DCist?
Yeah, where is he? Where is he
about
going?
This?
I spoke about
Washingtonian problems. Didn't talk about this.
I've said this before that I do believe DC has good food. I also believe that Baltimore has better food. And I also believe at times DC can be very pretentious with its food and with its restaurants. So like, yeah, we have a lot of high end, like you said, Michelin star places.
Right.
But unfortunately, a lot of the mom and pop places have been
run out.
Like the real DC food. And I think that's a big problem. And I think someone who's just coming in, I don't know how long he's been a representative for the state of Florida, but he's probably coming in and out of the city. He ain't really in the city. And I think that's part of the problem. And I actually have a photo of something he did eat.
Okay. All right.
A photo of something he did eat that he got questioned on. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this one before we get to that. Look at what he had. And someone said, is this you? And it said he ate lunch at the Mecca earlier today. This is it cafe. Happy to support this iconic small business as we regain some sense of normality. And people were like, is this you out here eating a regular burger and some tater tots? Now, I don't know about This Is It Cafe. I've never heard of it, to be honest. And I'm going to look it up real quick. This Is It Cafe. And Yelp does give it 3.5 stars. It is... Oh, it's in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh.
So that's why I said I've never heard of this. So they're just kind of like, yeah, you talking about, fine dining. You out here eating at, you out here eating at the most basic places. Shout out to our guy, Matt. He said he eating at Denny's.
Oh, wow.
Oh man. So yeah, man, he's definitely catching that heat on social media right now. Oh man. Yeah, man. So yeah, two things can be true. I do think Baltimore's food is better, but I'm not going to sit here and say DC's food is terrible. I think DC can be very pretentious though, where some of the best restaurants end up being the high-priced restaurants, and not too many.
What are we gathering? What is the criteria to be a good restaurant? Best was it,
And that's
the actual taste of food. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Ben's is still good. It's not the Ben's we remember, but it's still good. It's a staple in DC. You already mentioned the wings and the mambo sauce. There's literally hundreds of carryouts that can give you some good ones.
Right in the PG County.
Yeah, that's good. We did have Horace and Dickie's in DC, and I believe the one on 8th Street. I believe the one in Tacoma Park on the DC side is still open. So you definitely have that staple. You have Eddie. Man, what is it called? Eddie. Oh man, it's another carryout. Eddie. It's not Eddie's. Is Eddie's in the name. I can't remember.
No, because Eddie's is cousins with Jimmy's and Danny's and all that other stuff.
One of my favorite places is the District Chop House. I still like that place. Steaks are good. Their chicken tenders are good. Their salmon is good. The beers are pretty decent. I do like medium rare. I love their steak frites. Those were good. The Daily Grill, as you can tell, I like eating steaks. The Daily Grill, they're pretty good. But also Founding Farmers, there's a few of them. Bus Boys and Poets, like there's a few of them in DC. I think those are all good places. Just to start with, Representative Omari, and I forgot his last name. Representative Omari Hardy. I think those are some places you should definitely check out. That'll wrap it up here for our Sports Free Zone. Let's now get into the NBA before we wrap up the show. NBA training camp opening up that. So today was media day around the NBA, and big news coming out. But let's start with what we haven't had a chance to talk about. Ben Simmons officially told the team that he wants out of Philly. Said cannot mend things with the franchise and some of his teammates. Doc Rivers says, of course we still want him. The team says they want him, but they also said that if Ben Simmons is true to his word where he will not report to camp, then they will fine him.
Yeah.
And if he decides he's not playing, they will be taking them game checks back. What do you think Ben Simmons is about that action?
I mean, is this his first max?
Yes. And this is the first year where it kicks in.
Oh.
They have him for 4 years. And that's the difference between the James Harden situation, because James Harden was on the last year.
Yeah, he was already in it. But Ben technically is not in it. This is the first season.
Yes.
Ooh, man. Can they renege? Well, no, because it just started.
Yeah,
I was going to say, can they just
void
the contract?
I mean, they would have to do a buyout.
Well, I mean, now they have to do a buyout.
Yeah,
I think
if they don't want to trade him.
If they had did it prior to this season starting, I think they could have avoided it.
Possibly. I don't know how that works out with the CBA.
Right.
If you agree to it,
yeah.
Is it, it's binding? Like I know it's binding, but is it, do you have to opt out before it officially starts, or are they already buyout, or are they already in? And yeah. Well, look, personally,
that's a heavy buyout.
Oh,
well, and that's the thing. I don't think it would be a buyout that release him. I think they would have to trade and then them and the other team figure out what they're going to do in regards to buyout and what money is paid. And it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a whole mess.
Do you think he ultimately is going to be true to his word and not show up and not actually show up for real basketball games? Because this is media day. Yeah, whatever. When it comes,
I don't know, man.
When the season starts.
Right. And when it comes to the money, I don't know, man. Maybe he don't need it.
Look,
I don't know.
he made enough money to not play a year if he managed it well. That isn't an issue.
Remember, he's from Australia.
What's that supposed to be?
He's a little different than us Americans.
Yeah,
I doubt a lot of us Americans could take off a year, even with the money that they've been making.
He been in America long enough. He American now. He play on Team USC.
Don't even.
He American now. This is the real money, though. The real money starts now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he's going to try to hold it out, but eventually he's going to show up. Now, the question is he going to play, though? Because they say he just has to show, right?
He could kind of do it's funny, James Harden showed up super late, but he actually played those 5 or 6 games before the trade, I believe.
No, I mean in regards to them, what they're saying, and they're fine. Is it with him not showing up?
No, if he doesn't show up, they could fine him, obviously, for every day that he's not there. And then obviously when the season starts, then he just doesn't get paid for the games themselves.
No,
it really, fines are fines, but the game checks are the ones where it's like, oh.
He just got to show up. Yeah. That's all he got to do. No, I'm saying in regards, he don't have to play. He just got to show up.
Yeah, but he's saying he ain't showing up. Ben, he's saying he not showing up.
Come on, Ben. See, you got the wrong representation right now.
Who's his representation?
I don't know who is it. Rich Paul,
man. And look, I think Rich is good. I do believe he's good. And according to Stephen A., he was on NBA radio today on Sirius XM. He came on impromptu to the show, and he said, "Look, according to what he's heard, Rich Paul has recommended that, hey, you think about this." And he said, look, your situation is different from James Harden. He said, James Harden was in his last year. You're in your first year. He said, for it to work for you, you have to be prepared to sit out all year. That's what, according to Stephen A., which take it with a grain of salt. I already spoke about how I felt about Stephen A. earlier in the show, but he said, according to his sources, Rich Paul told Ben Simmons, if you're going to do this, you got to sit out the year. This ain't you're doing this for a little bit and then you come through.
Right.
So at least, that's what is being said on the streets about Ben Simmons and his plan of holding out and what at least Clutch Sports has said for him to do. So that's the thing, man. I'm struggling to answer my own question. I really don't know. I don't know if he's about that life. I really don't know if he's about that life. One trade that was, quite possible that they were trying to work on is possibly for John Wall, because Houston is actually trying to help John Wall get out of Houston.
Yeah, I told you that.
And John Wall is also like, hey, I'm here. I'm going to play. I'm going to be with the team until this happens.
Way to go, John Wall.
Stand-up guy for that.
Nobody's training for you, sir.
Or the trade, they were thinking about trade, or at some point then structuring a buyout.
Right.
Just to make things a little bit easier for both parties.
Who's picking up John Wall?
The Clippers. I think that's a good fit. If they could work out something, the Clippers.
They could make the money work.
Especially if he gets bought out, I think Clippers are the team that he should definitely go to. And it's not going to be championship this year because obviously Kawhi's not there, but Kawhi will be there next year.
You talking about championship with John Wall? It's not happening, bro.
I mean,
And playoff P? It's not happening.
hey, stranger things have happened in the NBA. Other news in the NBA. Kyrie Irving and Andrew Wiggins. Start with Andrew Wiggins, though. Andrew Wiggins applied for a religious exemption so he didn't have to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, the reason why he applied for a religious exemption, because in San Francisco, the city is mandating that athletes in their cities, participating in their cities, must be vaccinated. So, there's 41 home games in the season. You don't want to miss any games due to that.
Right.
Plus, it's the home team. So who wants to do that? But Andrew Wiggins applied for a religious exemption. He was denied that religious exemption. So now the ball is in his court to decide if he's going to get vaccinated or not. New York City has a very similar mandate. And the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving, has said that he is not interested in getting a vaccine. And according to sources, his agent has said if he's going to be required to be vaccinated, that Kyrie will seriously contemplate retirement. Look, I know how many of you all feel about the vaccine. I've been open about how I feel about it. This is a global pandemic. First of all, I'm vaccinated for everything else, so it is what it is. I've gone through life without issues dealing with any vaccine, including this one, the COVID-19 vaccine. Some people will say, "Look, I mean, how you going to feel in a few years?" Look, vaccines, if there's an adverse reaction or detrimental effects on the body, you'll know about it right away. I'm damn near 6-7 months into this, so it's fine. But you know what? The NBA, I mean, everyone should have autonomy. I have my opinions about those who say they, this one, that they're not going to take it and their reasoning for it, because most people's reasonings are ridiculous to me. That's my opinion.
Seems like a good reason to me.
I understand that everyone should have their choice. At the same time, your employer has a choice too. And like I said earlier, I'm cool with player empowerment, but there is a balancing act with player empowerment and having to deal with employers. And not just employers, the city is saying, hey, you want to play in this arena, you got to be vaccinated. Now, this is the tricky thing. And this is what annoys me with lawmakers.
Right.
I got annoyed when earlier this year, the CDC and President Biden said, oh, well, if you're vaccinated, you shouldn't be required. You're not required to wear a mask and you'll be able to go to places, and almost left it at, oh, but if you're unvaccinated, you got to use the honor system and let people know that you're unvaccinated and you have to be the one masked up. That caused a lot more problems because now everyone was just not masked going into places. Remember I told you about the state of Maryland when they dropped their mandate?
Yeah.
How I went to the restaurant and everyone just went to go pick up my food and everyone in the store didn't have a mask.
Well, actually, Maryland didn't do a mandate.
You're right. The state did it.
He left it to the counties.
Counties.
Yeah.
And then, yes.
Then the counties made their decision. PG County was the only one that did a mandate.
Yes. So then the counties then relaxed them, and it just coincided with cases started spiking again. Now we have mask mandates again in most counties again in the state of Maryland. We had the same thing, New York opened up and Madison Square Garden was packed with the vaccinated, and then cases started to go up. We've seen this over and over again. But because of the inconsistency with the language and the speech from our leaders, this is what it caused. The city of New York did something similar. They're requiring their home athletes to be vaccinated, or they cannot practice or play in their home venues. But the road athletes don't have to be vaccinated. Does that make sense, Dad?
That makes no sense at all.
And
because if that just don't make no sense at all.
it doesn't make sense. And that is the thing that gives the anti-vaxxers, the anti-maskers ammunition for their opinions. Because really, it doesn't make sense. It should be all athletes coming into our venues need to be vaccinated, or you don't have a mandate on it.
Right.
So even though I don't agree with Kyrie Irving and any other, player, especially in these sports, saying, "Yeah, man, I'm not getting vaccinated," because look, there's a lot expected, not just from the fans, but from the employers, from, keeping people safe. You're around these people all the time. You should be thinking about others. And I think that's the problem with the United States. A lot of people ain't thinking about others, thinking about themselves. And it's still a global pandemic. Like we're approaching 2 years with this.
Right.
And so that's how I feel. But someone like Kyrie might also, I agree with them when it comes to the rule is stupid. So yeah, man, it's just bad. Then you had Bradley Beal today. Did you hear what Bradley Beal said?
No, what did he say? Please don't tell me something ignorant.
Bradley Beal had this to say. I would ask the question to those who are getting vaccinated, why are you still getting COVID?
So he did say something ignorant.
Yeah.
Do people not realize, why does everybody think that this damn vaccine is going to stop you from getting anything? Do you not know how a vaccine works?
Oh, man.
Do none of these people understand how a fucking vaccine works?
No, man.
And I'm sorry if I have family that are looking at this or listening to this and hearing me curse. It just pisses me off that we have Americans that are just stupid. They're they when you talk to them, they come across like they have some type of intelligence. And then something comes up and they just blow everything you thought about them out of the water. And it's just straight stupid ignorance. And they've been, even some of these people that are big anti-vaxxers and this is my choice and yada, yada, yada. They forget that when they had to go to school, just to go to school, they had to take a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the flu vaccine.
It was
and
the
you
measles.
had to take it.
It was the mumps.
The measles, the mumps,
TB.
the flu, TB, all that.
Talking about that, I
Mind
got to
you.
take another TB test, even though I took one like 2 years ago because of what I'm doing right
You
now.
got to. You got
I got to take another
to.
one.
You got to.
You know,
But I just don't understand it. It's not. Let me just say this to you right now, folks. And if you're listening and watching or whatever, a vaccine is a vaccine. It is not a cure. A vaccine doesn't stop you from getting a virus. Just keep COVID out of this for right now. The most common vaccine that we all know is the flu vaccine. Mind you, the flu vaccine, they have you take it every year because the flu mutates. You hear a common theme here, right? The virus mutates. Just like COVID has mutated from COVID-19 to COVID-19 Delta, Beta, Mu, whatever else it's at now. It mutates. Viruses mutates. Just like when you get a computer virus and you can't get it to stop. And next thing you know, like you got to change your password or you can't get into it or it just starts glitching on you. It's because that virus mutates. So when virus mutates, you have to take a flu shot every year, right? Now, when you take this flu shot, if you didn't know, is that when flu season comes around, you still get the flu.
It happens.
You still get the flu, folks, but it doesn't hit you as hard. You barely have any symptoms, or if any symptoms at all, but you do get the flu. You actually give it to other people who have not taken the flu vaccine. And it goes in their body and runs around, and they might get sick. They might not get sick. But do you know why they might not have symptoms or might not get sick or it might not hit them as hard? Is because they took the vaccine. Mm-hmm. It's a very simple concept. And I understand a lot of you, you know what? No, I'm going to put it in two forms. I know there's a lot of black folks out there that are very skeptical about taking vaccines and all that because of government and previous history and yada, yada, down the line.
Understandable.
And then you have our Caucasian friends who, in a sense, and I've seen it two ways. One way is they're like, well, this is a brand new thing. They've only been testing it for a year. Yada, yada, yada. This is the rhetoric that's been going on. Mm-hmm. And then also, I don't want to do it because, one, Biden's in office. So this is crazy. But the other thing is, I don't want our government to tell us what to do and such and such. I don't know what you want, folks. Like, I'm not here to advocate you to get the vaccine or not get the vaccine. I'm fully vaccinated. I plan on getting the booster when it's available for me because I know what a vaccine does. Two, this COVID vaccine that is being used right now is not only just been tested for this year or year and a half now.
mRNA therapy has been in existence for
It's
decades.
been in existence for a long time. And guess the number, the COVID-19. This is not brand new. COVID, the whole COVID architecture,
the Corona family,
has been around for a very, very long time. And they have been testing stuff all this time. But they are basing this one off of the SARS. Some of y'all don't remember SARS because some of y'all are just too young to know about the SARS. Mm-hmm. Or the bird flu when that came out. Guess what? That's all part of the coronavirus family, folks. So it's been in testing. It's just that this part of COVID or coronavirus mutated differently. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about, folks. Viruses are viruses. A lot of them are very similar to others. They might have all different types of names, but they all are very similar to each other. But guess what? When it comes to humans or animals, it mutates. It changes its genetic marker. And as it goes on and passes on through different people and different people down the line, it mutates even more, folks. That's all it is. So I just leave it up to you. I just think some of y'all are just fucking idiots. But that's just me. And I'm not saying you're a fucking idiot because you have not gotten the vaccine or don't want to get it, or it goes for folks that have gotten the vaccine. Some of them are fucking idiots too.
Yep.
But we're 2021 now. Let's start using common sense. Well, actually, common sense. I think we've lost common sense for a long time now. But let's start being smart, folks. Like, for real. Y'all are just being really dumb. Dumb, stupid, ignorant, whatever you want me to call you. I'm not going to call you the R word because that's not right.
Not politically correct.
It's not
anymore.
politically correct anymore.
Not politically correct anymore.
Don't be rude.
But trust me, some of y'all do deserve being called that. But yeah.
Oh man, see, and this is the thing, and I know we went through science and political. Well, science. I'm not gonna say political because it ain't political.
We never went political. Besides them being scared that the government's trying to force them to do stuff. And,
we went through a science thing, but it pertains to what's happening in sports right now. And but this is the thing, man. And before we get out of here, look, the reason why we're having variants is because the virus is being able to spread still.
Exactly. It's mutating. That's why the different variants come out, because it's a mutation of the same original thing.
And the problem is, if you just look at data, the most vaccinated states have the most ICU beds available.
Yep.
Has the most ICU beds available.
Yep.
The most unvaccinated has the least.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure I've been exposed to this virus. I'm pretty sure I have. But I've had no symptoms, no nothing. I've been fine. I know folks that I know personally that have had it multiple times. One had it multiple times before he got vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
One, I don't know if I know anybody personally that has had COVID after getting the vaccine, but it's always a possibility. It is what it is. But you're not hearing these folks getting COVID and ended up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, they're not having any symptoms. They just did a test and said, yeah. And the tests aren't even 100% accurate anyways. So it is what it is, folks. But let's, if we all get on the same page, this virus isn't going anywhere. It's not like it's just going to disappear. It's going to be there all the time. But just like you said, it won't mutate as fast as it is. It's mutating fast. Like, there's variants out there that nobody really even knows about right now because one is not here in the U.S. yet. But I will tell you this right now, and I said it from the jump. Back in December 2019, January 2020, all we had to do was shut down our international airports. That's literally all we had to do. We wouldn't have had to do none of these shutdowns that we've had. None of that. If we had shut down our international airports in December of 2019, we'd all be okay right now.
Even if we had waited to January when we actually were hearing about it.
And shut it down. Shut down our international travel. Because that's how these things happen. It's international travel. But we didn't do things smartly because we're Americans. And we have to have our way. And we're the greatest country in the world. Which I truly believe. But we don't act like it. We don't move that way. You know what I'm saying? As the greatest country in the world. We don't make moves that way. We don't act that way. We just do things the American way, which is most of the time the worst way possible. But anyways, let's move on to whatever we got, if we have anything
No, man, that
We're
is
good.
pretty much it because
And I'm
that
so
is the
sorry.
topic of conversation in the NBA because everyone's just asking, well, are you vaccinated or are you not? Are
Right,
you vaccinated?
right.
And every players are answering their questions. So that is
bro,
pretty much
who cares? Nobody is going to use your information for anything, especially when it comes to COVID. Now, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, you could tell people that you've never taken the vaccine or whatever just to appease people. But guess what? They know if you've taken the vaccine or not.
and eventually
There's literally a database sitting there that has everybody who has taken their first, second. How do you think they even get these numbers? They have a database, folks.
and eventually with these athletes, we gonna find out sooner or later.
Oh, by far.
Either you gonna get it or someone might squeal on you like Dennis Schroeder and LeBron. When
Right.
Dennis Schroeder said, well, me and LeBron are the only ones of that. That was a
Right,
while ago. And personally, I do believe LeBron is probably vaccinated right now. But
I mean,
You know.
come on.
it's
Do you want to make money or not? Is the question.
my thing is this also. And back to just Kyrie Irving
Just employer,
and
employee.
and Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, Wiggins.
Are you just not going to play home games?
right? Is that
Like
your
you're
plan?
just not going to play home games.
That's your plan right there.
And or whatever. I don't really think the Warriors are really. I mean, we'll get into that a little bit later in the next few weeks. But going into the season, the Nets are the presumptive favorite out of the Eastern Conference.
Right.
And as the favorite of the Eastern Conference, you're going to have home court advantage in every series. Are you willing to miss 4 games every series over this?
Look, you already know they ain't that smart to think of that. They damn sure ain't that smart to think of that.
Yeah, man. Anyways, before we get out of here, Big Thad,
Yeah.
any news broke while we were recording, man? Anything?
I did bring up the Josh Gordon.
Mm-hmm. I don't see anything that is broken since.
Nothing substantial.
Yeah, man. Dallas Cowboys play tonight on Monday Night Football. So obviously, by the time you listen to this on the replay, you will know who wins that game.
Good luck
I
to
think,
your team.
I think the Cowboys are gonna win that one, man.
Good luck to your team. Are you gonna watch it with your brothers? Well, at least with Marcus.
Oh yeah, I wonder if he's. I don't know if he's here.
you are at the
yet.
house. You know
I don't know if he's here yet. I gotta ask him where he's watching. I forgot. You know,
Yeah.
could watch it together as a family.
Who knows? I might hit you up. So that I do have to play pool in that area. So I might make a quick stop by or a quick drive by because your mom's. She might be like, "What are you doing here?"
Yep. That will definitely be what happens.
What are you doing here? I'm your loving nephew. That's why I'm here, because I want to say hi to my auntie.
Big Dad, I want to thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, Cuzzo.
Shout out to OSS 980. Shut your face.
Curls and
Girl, oh yeah, I spoke to her. There's something I gotta ask her about her Mets with the documentary that's out now. I haven't seen it yet. So I gotta talk to her about that. Also, Grady Diaz, she had a interesting piece in Sports Illustrated. Make sure you go check that out. Also, shout out to my man Chris Randolph, he's somewhere in Europe right now, living the life right now as a basketball coach. Teaching the youths basketball. Shout out to him. I want to shout out to everyone who tuned into the show. Roman, Jacaro, Greg, Matt, Steven, our cousin, chimed in also.
Oh, for real?
And my boy John Grimshaw. Thanks for tuning in.
All the way from Trinidad.
Yep. Just want to remind you all to subscribe to the podcast where it's available. That includes Anchor, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Tune in, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, all available on there. Big Thad, I want to thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you for you.
Yep. And until next time, everyone, Sports Reality. Peace.
Peace.
All the models to the floor right now. All the models to the floor right now. All the models to the floor right now.